Film it? Okay. Fiber art. And you said you ironed the paint?
I painted on this strange, almost plastic composition material, and then laid it on the cloth, which was already dyed and ironed it on. Yeah. This one has some gold in it.
Oh, shining.
And it's shiny and nice materials. But you see, this material is dotted, and then I've drawn these dots with my sewing machine and drawn them down here to carry one pattern into the other. So it's playing with colors and shapes.
And different material. It's three-dimensional, right? Yeah. This made
they were like doll heads and hands.
And this is also three-dimensional. I want to show.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a family portrait, only they have a little pixie that came with them.
Yeah. Made a sketch.
Put the sketch beside the sewing machine, and this is fabric, and it's just stitching with the sewing machine, moving the fabric under the machine.
So I'll take one face and get real near,
the pictures.
Real close, so we will see that it's actually a needle work, a machine, sewing machine work.
It's called free machine embroidery.
Free machine embroidery. With a black thread in a machine. I like this one. Wait with your hand. This one. Wow. Oops. We should do this. Yeah.
Hiding my page and drawing pictures.
And you were drawing the people who were participating in a meeting?
Yes, but I hide my page.
So they won't see it.
Yes. And then this is another one of men.
Wow. They mostly men in the meetings.
Buttons. This was a little bit of paint. It's done on silk. There was a tiny bit of paint, but then all of this was machine stitching, and this is all machine stitching. And these are the Mackenzie Mountains in the Arctic. And this is how the tiny little trees look. And
so I'm coming near just to see the stitches, to show that it is so tafour. Called tafour. Wow, so nice trees. And how did you do the red area?
Well, this would be little scraps of material, and they're trapped under netting, and then I stitch.
You put the net on top.
Yeah. And these would be the kinnikinick leaves that turn red in the fall.
What is it?
An herb called kinnikinick.
Herb.
Yes. And the leaves turn red in the fall. Echoing the button blankets that the Haida people on the west coast of Canada do. They do blankets decorated with buttons, and they like to use the colors red, black, and white. So that has echoes of the Haida approach.
It's called Haida?
Haida, yeah. Like this, it represents the shoulder joint, and these are the feathers.
And this is what the natives of North Canada do. And the name of this tribe, or this...
That would be Kwakiutl. This would be.
Kwakiutl.
And the people on the west coast had very rich terrain, lots of fish, a good climate, and so they had time for art, and they developed some very, very sophisticated. It's the scene from the bridge out here, and looking on the lake.
And it's also stitch?
Yes, this is all machine stitching with a machine here. And this is hand stitching, I think, here. Those are hand stitching the grasses.
I just see the grass. You can actually see stitches now. It looks like watercolor.
Well,
hard to believe that
this is watercolor, but the trees and bushes are all
stitched. Yes.
Because it's stale dated. We'll have $60 due for the two members who are going to the May 12th ONN meeting. I don't know who those people will be yet, but I'm assuming that Sylvia is staying on, and probably that Phillida will go. But they have our domain website renewal that has, last year was $135 due in December.
Yeah, with the university, isn't she?
Yes.
That's the beginning of the term.
Yeah.
So all the pressures.
And she was kind of hoping that maybe she would have her life sorted out.
Only come to the night. Might have to happen that way.
I think, but I think you do.
Then that's what you say.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Now, are you assuming somebody?
Yeah.
You mean the actual artwork would have the same print?
No.
Underneath.
The label.
Oh,
But the whole show has that, so.
But yeah, that's true.
The other thing I did want to say is Phillida and I just paid our deposit for a trip to Morocco.
So this is really a sort of prototype. I can see there's some problems with how teapot spouts come out. You know that I am obsessed with teapots this year. I've decided that last year it was potatoes, this year
Oh, it's gorgeous.
and that was fabric that I made and then stamped and so on, and that's fine. But what happens in the middle doesn't please me, and I'm wondering whether I should just...
that the best. I like the middle.
Why not? I really like the middle. Yeah.
So, okay, let Maria finish in
I
terms
was
of what's...
thinking maybe I should chop it up and make it into a three-dimensional teapot, and that might help. Because to me, the middle doesn't, well, it's too middle-ish.
It's beads, huh?
Shadow. Too many lines otherwise.
And then
I knew that if I brought it, I would get my top. I've been
That's
looking at
funny.
this thing for about a month and a half.
wait, that's too neat. Yeah, yeah,
Well, have you got enough, Maria?
yeah.
I do. Yeah, okay. Because it's,
Thank you.
yeah, you don't want to get too many ideas. So I know this is
Thank
My
you.
little brain.
Yes.
So I think if I just use Pebeo and just paint them.
The horse kicked over the sled, and she got her underpants wet all the way up to the knees. I found this in her diary, and she felt this was her punishment for having been present where dancing occurred. My mother only learned to square dance late in her life, but she was always on my case. Get out. This is Graham and the Horse and the Sleigh.
Oh,
And then my haiku, grandmother danced once. On the way home, horse tipped sleigh, her God did not dance. And then this is the family history around her here, her and her family. And
you did that all with the air pen.
yes, well this was, we painted first of all with a brush and paints, fabric paints. And then this is actually Sharpie laundry marker to make it darker. And then we wrote. And so I've got a poem I wrote about women and stuff. I've got Turtle Moon Camp information, Graham's name, the story of Graham and the sleigh and the horse, and the story of Grace United Church closing, which is a sad thing in the village. So there it is. And then the way she finished, before you do this, I had a nice face, but then when you draw it's done, and the face I don't like as well, but I had no choice. Then she let us
This was
use...
in 1 week? You did all this?
Oh, great.
Well, she aims for a piece a day, but because Jen and I were doing so much writing, we didn't accomplish a separate piece each day. So this was the theme mask. So you'd press, and here's why you do, because I must have missed this little corner. You see, it's not as sharp. And
So what kind of ink are you using?
I'm not. I'd have to look up my notes for the ink we used in the air gun,
Right. But the
or
other
in the airbrush. The other ink is the
The fabric paint.
jacquard or just whatever.
Gordon has a garage. It's in the block between Bagot and Wellington, on the from the Princess Street side of the block. And I don't know what the price is. It hasn't been listed yet. It's owned, I think, by the people who live in the big stone house, brick house beside it, to the left of it. And so I fabric store.
זה הבית של המארחת, שקבוצת ה-Fiber Art. זה עשוי מלבד תפור, תפור, תפור. דבר אחד תפור עם השני.
It doesn't come. My parents all to wish us a happy anniversary. And I got all nervous telling them I got engaged.
כל מבד חוטים וצמר.
And it just wasn't in the cards. And that's what it is. 16 years. And I no idea. I had no idea. Wow. And when he gave me this beautiful card and I opened it up, I stepped back and he said, so then I can take this back. And I looked and it's like, I didn't want to open it.
No, I would have been
I
afraid
didn't
to.
want to open it. And I opened the box and I dinner and the ladies at the store